heading south through the corner of Mississippi and then to Alabama, where I'm going to meet up with Nimblewill Nomad. That's also at the terminus of the Pinhoti Trail. He's another old guy who's a really famous hiker, and he has done an incredible number of miles on these through hikes. I don't actually know a whole lot about his story, so kind of going into this with the intention of just figuring out what his story is.
Well, we're gonna get in the weeds here now, okay? Because you said you were going to talk about this, and I guess we're going to start talking about it. Yeah, we've all got baggage, and the older you get, the bigger your baggage is. And I had a bunch of baggage, things that I wasn't necessarily proud of, situations and occurrences and events in my life that I would have changed. I think part of the aging process, and you're just approaching that. You're just starting to get into what happens as you get older. We become more sensitive. We become more, we question more who we are and what we are. What's this about? Why am I here? And this baggage, this burden that you're lugging and you're carrying along, eventually gets to a point where it's impossible to pick up and carry and to lug. Mentally, physically, emotionally, you can't deal with it. So what do? You say, well, let's look at this a different way, old man. How about you seek some help? And I'm not talking about help that's going to come through someone's education, that they graduated from this school of psychology or anything like that. Not that sort of help, because some of us have already sought that and have found out that that might help, but probably we're right back where we were to start with the next year later. And your own personal life, I have no idea if or when or you had to deal with any of that, but I did. And I received no satisfaction, no closure in the suffering I was going through mentally and emotionally. So I thought, well, let's just put a pack on and let's go out with nature. Let's seek and immerse ourselves in another medium that's out there, that we know is out there, because we've heard and we've been taught, and we probably have an instinctive feeling down deep that nature and God have something in combination, that we may, not with our senses, our physical senses of seeing or feeling or smelling or hearing or tasting, but within our heart and in our mind, we know that there's some connection there between nature and what we would call God. So I sought that out, and I went out there, and I liked it. There's three levels that we exist on in our life, our physical life. There's three levels. One is maybe not, a little more ephemeral and maybe not as physical, but it's there because we can accept it and go for it and be part of it if we want to. But the three planes that and this is what we do when we hike. We immerse ourselves in at least two of these planes in a very, very concentrated way. The first plane is the physical plane. If you're going to put a pack on your back that weighs 20, 30 plus pounds, and you're going to try to walk through the mountains and valleys of 14 states on a trail that we call the Appalachian Trail, you're going to probably figure that this is an incredible challenge. This is the physical challenge. And if you can accomplish that or achieve that, then you've really done something big. So that's one of the two main planes that we have to deal with in life, but in concentrate when we're on the trail, because to go to work, we just walk to our car. And to go to lunch, we just walk to the cafe. And at home, we just walk to get to the toilet. But we don't walk 15, 20, 30 miles a day like we do on the trail. So the physical challenge, that plane, that one of the three planes I'm going to talk to you about, is the one that we think is the most difficult to overcome. The second of the planes is the mental. So we've got the physical and the mental now that we have to deal with. Here's what happens. As you put a pack on, you're dealing with that grueling day-to-day grind, but with time, you overcome that, so the physical demands that you're dealing with become less. However, you're having to deal also with the mental demands of being out there. You're alone, you haven't seen your family, you've been called selfish because you're doing this. You should be back at work, you should be taking care of your family, you should, whatever your other responsibilities that other people tell you you should be involved in, you're very selfish to go out and to just take all this time to yourself. You shouldn't be doing that. So you got all these things working on you mentally. That problem increases with time. And your ability to deal with it and overcome what the mental challenges are in a hike become bigger and not smaller. In real life, we deal with that by we immerse ourselves in a way in society where all the confusion, all the noise, all the racket, all the peripheral things that we deal with from day to day keep us from thinking about who we are as a person. And this gets back to you being a jerk, okay? And it gets back to me being a jerk. And when you're out there for hours and days and weeks and months, you don't have the distractions that you can go to that'll take your mind off of that. You jump in your car and you go downtown, you pick up the phone, you call your friends, you turn on the TV, because you don't want to think about how you treated your mother when you were a child, how you were nasty with your really good people that were your friends and considered you to be a friend, how you dealt with them sometimes, and the really nasty person that you are that made you into the jerk that you are. You can't escape those moments and hours and days on the trail. So it's in your head, it's in your mind, and after a while you say, I can't handle this anymore. So what do? You quit. But you didn't quit because you had blisters on your feet. You didn't quit because your back was hurting. You didn't quit because your pack was so heavy and you didn't want to carry it anymore. You quit because you couldn't deal with the mental challenges that are part of and increase day to day when you're hiking. The third plane, and this is your third plane, is the spiritual aspect of it. And that's coming right around 360 back to where I started discussing how we were going to go into the weeds on this. We know that there's a connection between God and nature. And you can dispute that, I guess, but to me it's unequivocal. You can't go out here and see this sunset, which is beautiful again tonight. You can't go out here and see God's great, all the beautiful things He's created or she's created, whoever God is, that we experience when we're with nature, and not realize there's a connection there. So to be a successful long-distance hiker, or to be successful in life, comparatively, okay, you have to succeed on the physical, you've got to take care of yourself. You have to be healthy, or you can't do the things you want to do. And you have to manage, or at least feel like you're managing the mental challenges from day to day. And those of us that are able to do that, and we consider ourselves successful long-distance hikers because we've overcome the physical and the mental challenges of it, opens up this third realm if we want to delve into it. And it's been there all along. We see it every moment, every hour, every day, every week. We're on the trail, we see the connection that's there, that we know deep down in our heart exists between nature and God. And if we want to open ourselves up to that, it's there for us to do. We've got down off of that pedestal that we've elevated ourselves to as being such a great person, because we know we're not a great person. And we've learned to overcome the frailties and the failures that we've had in life, or we wouldn't have been successful on the trail. We'd have quit. So if we can, at some point, and decide in our life that we want to do this, then we can join in that journey with God. And that's what's out there. So you got the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And to make a hike complete, and a journey complete, and a lifetime complete, we have to be successful in all three of those.
Before I discovered nature and long-distance backpacking trips, I had a good life, but I didn't have anything very deep or meaningful in my life. And it wasn't until I discovered my passion for hiking and spending long periods of time out in nature that I began to understand that there is something deeper to this life than we can just touch or feel or see. Those adventures gave me a sense of purpose in life. They helped me understand who I am and what I really want. And they helped me lay a really solid foundation that I don't think will ever be taken away from me. Even if I lose my job, even if I go broke, even if I don't have a house to live in, I think I will still have a really strong foundation that will kind of sustain me. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube to follow along with this project and a bunch of other nature-focused content.